Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, thank you. And welcome to the beautiful Lindeman's Open Garden here at the Melbourne Flower and Garden Show in 2011. My name is Dominique Rizzo and I'm the Chef Ambassador for Lindeman's. I'll just fill you in on the recipe, just as we are kind of doing a little bit of cooking and growing. This is a wonderful, simple Italian pasta, and you can substitute any ingredients. I love the flexibility about cooking, and I'm really all about creating a recipe, but then giving you the opportunity to kind of take it home and make it your own. So all I've done with this is sweated off a little bit of onion in some butter. Then, as you saw, I went in with the diced up pumpkin. I prefer using I think America call it Queensland pumpkin. I call it Jap pumpkin, Queensland pumpkin, Jap pumpkin, which is your red, your white and green. I find it very sweet, and I love the texture of the flesh. And so tomatoes, onion, pumpkin. You can take the skin off the tomatoes, so just score the bottom, put them in a bowl, pour boiling water over the top, and then scoop them out, skin it. I haven't done this to this, so you know, you can be as fancy or as a little rustic and just throw the whole lot in. And then it's just a matter of adding in some vegetable stock. For vegetarians, you can use chicken stock if you want something a bit more flavoured. So a little bit of vegetable stock and some milk. I've also gone in, I'm going to get Meredith to pick some herbs and have a little bit of a talk to you about herb growing. So we're going to go in there with some thyme, sage, oregano, and a little bit of parsley as well. So now is a great opportunity when you're cooking. And I know a lot of you have got herb gardens at home, and I find there's nothing better than going out into your garden, picking fresh herbs or picking your fresh produce and bringing it into your kitchen. I think the satisfaction of doing that and incorporating your garden into your food is just beautiful. So I'm just going to dish this out into some little serving cups, and then I'll get Doreen, who is our fabulous assistant, who's running around giving you wine, is going to she's just going to pass this around to you. So we'll try and feed everybody. The shorter the pasta, the quicker it'll cook. Simon, I'm going to be quiet now.
Now, people are always asking me about, how do you match wines to food? What flavours to look for in your wine? What flavours to look for in your food? The wonderful thing about the Lindeman's Early Harvest range and Sweet Seasons range of wines is they do have distinct flavours, but because they're so light and refreshing in the Early Harvest range, or that lovely little bit of sort of richness in the Sweet Seasons range, they're very, very versatile wines. One thing I love to do is actually match sparkling wine to food, because people think of sparkling wine just as an aperitif. In actual fact, in France, where they make lots of sparkling wine, or as they call it, champagne, they drink a lot of sparkling wine with all their dishes. And this is the Lindeman's Early Harvest Sparkling Rosé. And it's got some really lovely sort of fresh berry flavours, but most importantly, it's got nice crisp acid. And that richness that's in that dish there, just from the little bit of milk and the pumpkin, it'll actually cut through that quite well. What you don't want to do when you're matching food and wine is you don't want to take a really, really rich dish and put it with a really, really rich wine, because you're sort of putting two positives together and it doesn't quite work. You almost want to sort of balance it out. So if you've got a really rich dish, you want something with a bit of a natural acidity to it. And because, again, all these wines are lovely, light and refreshing, 25% lighter in alcohol, makes it very easy to match. So this is, the Early Harvest Sparkling Rosé. And I think this would be an absolute cracker with this, because it'll cut through the richness in this pumpkin dish.
Do we get one of these each?
Oh,
to be really honest, this has been the most popular. So if you haven't tried this yet, I encourage you. Have you tried it, ladies? Oh, you've got to go and try it. You'll love it. I'm not a big drinker. I'm kind of one of those, I suppose, rarity of a chef who doesn't really drink. And that's, I suppose, why I really love the Lindemans, because they are a lighter style, so I can have a couple of glasses and I'm not getting knocked off my feet. And I like to kind of keep a really healthy lifestyle, healthy diet. And I just find that these really reflect, not only complement all my cooking and the lighter style of cooking that I love to do using lots of fresh ingredients, but also with the lifestyle, a lighter lifestyle, which is I think where we're all heading a little bit more into, one, looking after ourselves, cooking a little bit more at home, eating outdoors, getting the kids involved and everything. These wines are they're a great everyday table wine. And I find that they're just a wonderful complement to all of your cooking. Something like this for a lunch, even for the kids, is lovely. And you could even do, your mac and cheese. If you wanted to do one for the kids where you've got your macaroni and cheese, that type of thing, just your stock and your milk. You can throw in your vegetables. You could sweat off your onion, carrot, celery, which basically almost disintegrates into nothing. And a great one if you've got kids to try and get vegetables in. whatever vegetables they like to eat, you can throw those in and they'll just it just gets kind of mashed into the sauce. Bit of cauliflower would be really nice if you're doing a mac and cheese. Put your cauliflower in, it will just dissolve into the milk and become part of the sauce. Kids won't be able to tell. Put some cheese in on top. So,
and especially myself, when the weather starts to get a bit cooler, I always reach for that bottle of red, and as I say, drink myself a little bit of a jumper.
Yeah.
and this Dolciana is actually, the perfect wine for that, because it's
beautiful.
It's stunning. Just that little bit of sweetness, but it's not cloying sweetness, and balanced and refreshing is just absolutely perfect, and works well with a dish like this that's got that richness like in the pumpkin dish. But as does sparkling rosé, because the sparkling rosé, as we said, it's got that lovely crisp acidity that cuts through the richness in a pumpkin type dish, and the Dolciana, the Blanchello, the white. Again, fruity, but the acid on the back of that wine that's balanced, it'll work well with the herbaceous characters from the fresh herbs that we put into that dish. So a wonderful, versatile range of wines to go with that wonderful pasta and pumpkin dish.
Beautiful. Thank you all very much.
You.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.